Good day, friends. It is me, HL Mod Tech, and I'm going to create a Code Blocks rocket. So let's get cracking. Alright, so the first thing, of course, is to visit Tinkercad, and then we're going to switch to Code Blocks. Choose Create New Code Block. When this window shows up, just click Create New Design. The first thing we're going to do is name it Rocket, and then I'm going to put my initials after it, just like that. When creating with Code Blocks, we create objects. The first object we'll create is the body. Click this arrow, choose Rename Variable, and type body so that we can keep them labeled. One quick note, never duplicate these. You always need to create a new object for each object you make. We are going to make our rocket with a shape, and we are going to use the tube so that it shows up hollow. When you bring it in, stretch it out so you can see its parameters. I'm going to tell you to pick a color that you think is fun. I'm going to go with gray. Do make sure you change all your colors so you can turn in a screenshot later that proves it's yours. We're going to set the wall thickness to 1. We're going to set the height to 100. And we're going to set the sides to 64. You can leave the other two alone. If you've never seen Code Blocks before, when you hit play, it draws your shape. It puts it at 0, 0, so half of that 100 is above and half is below. We're going to go to Modify, and we're going to raise it up. And we want to raise it up high enough so that we've got room for fins and engines. So we are going to raise it 60 in the air. Once again, hit play, and you'll see it arrive up top. I'm going to zoom out so we can see it a little better. We are going to put what's called a transition stage right now up here. We're going to do that with a shape called a cone. When you bring the cone out, stretch its parameters, pick a cool color, and we're going to change its top radius. Instead of 0, I want you to put 6. We'll keep the bottom radius 10 so it matches our body tube, and then I need you to make the height 10 as well and change the sides to 64. If we hit play quick, you'll notice it shows up down at the bottom, so we need to move it up. We're going to do that with another modify and a move command, and this time we're going to move it 115 up. Let's see if that lands where we want. And yes, I did do my math correct, so it is right where we expect it to be. We're going to go back to shapes, and we're going to add our nose cone. You could make it with a cone, but I'm going to choose to make it with a paraboloid. When you bring it out, once again, pick the color that you think is going to be the coolest. All the colors should be different to make this most awesome. We need to change this radius to 6 so it matches the top of our cone, and we will leave that height 20, but once again, let's go 64 so it's more rounded. Again, we need to move it to the very top, so we're going to type 130 for how high this has to go. I did some math to figure these out. If you're making your own choices, you'll just have to use guess and check, or do the math on your own to get them to line up the way you want. But right there is the body of our rocket. The next object we're going to create is a fin. So bring out a new object. Remember, never duplicate those. Choose Rename, and we're going to name this Fin. We're going to build the fin with a shape called a wedge. Let's hit play really quick, and I'll show you what a wedge looks like to start out. You can see that shape kind of looks like a fin, but it's way too wide. We are going to change that with the awesome Scale command. I need you to type these numbers. So for X, we're going to make it 0.1. For Y, we're going to make it 0.7. And we're going to make it 1.3 for Z. Now you can adjust these, but for your first part of your rocket, you probably want to keep them the same. So you can see that is our fin. Now you'll notice it is not located well at all, so we're going to fix that with a move. Once again, bring out your move, and then I've done the math for you. The numbers we want are 0.05, so it's half its thickness on the X. And then we want to move it out 16 on the Y. And on Z, we want to move it up 23. When we hit play, you'll see that this nudges up and out so that it's on the edge of our rocket, just like you would expect a fin to be. Notice if we right click, we can look underneath and you can see that it connects to the shape as well. Let's organize our screen by collapsing these parameters, and we can set this up beside now so that we've got more room to work and our first two pieces are complete. The next thing we're going to create is a new object called engine. Rename it and type engine. We're going to make the engine with that awesome paraboloid shape. Bring out your paraboloid, pick your cool color. I'm going to do a darker gray. I'm going to move this down quick so I have more room to show you the parameters. Our parameters are going to be 6, and we're going to do a height of 12, and then we're going to keep the sides at 24. Now we need 2 of these, so we are going to duplicate, make the second one a hole. We're going to change its radius to 5.5 and leave the rest the same. We are going to do a move so that this hole is a little bit lower. We're simply going to type -2, and then we're going to use a create group command. When we do that, if you hit play, when we look under our engine, you can see that it is now cut out. It's also underneath 0, so let's raise it up so it's at the normal 0 height with a move command. Remember, we chose 12, so we're moving it up 6. I'm going to also upgrade the speed at this time so that when we hit play, it all happens instantly. There's our rocket, the fins, and the engine. Friends, I'm going to collapse these so that it's easier to organize everything as well. These are the 3 parts we're going to build our rocket with. Of course, a rocket needs more than 1 fin. Let me show you how we're going to do that with some code. We have a fin. We're going to rename this one to be fins. So this is where you get multiple. We're going to bring out an amazing command called repeat. We're going to code ours to repeat 6 times. If you want to be fancy, you can do the math to choose other amounts of repeat. We're going to add a copy of the fin. So we click data, and here is the variable for our fin part. We need to use a rotate command, and this is important. You must choose rotate around Z. And then instead of doing 90 degrees, we're going to use a variable. Well, to make a variable, we're going to click the math, and we'll put the variable at the very top. When you hit rename, we want to call this turn. So we're going to leave turn at 0, and we're going to tell it that the first time it makes the shape, it's going to turn 0. But we've got to pivot at a very special spot. To make it go around the outside of our body tube, we need to put the number 19 out here. And then we need to switch to the math commands, and we need to find the amazing change command. Well, we don't want to change item, we want to change turn, and I'm going to tell you that for 6 sides, you need 60 degrees in every turn, which is 360 degrees of a circle divided by 6. That is the fancy math you could use to create any amount of fins on your rocket. This is where it really gets fun. Let's hit play and check it out instantly. 6 fins placed accurately on your awesome rocket. That's how cool coding can be. Let's choose modify, and let's choose create group. Let's also set them to be a different color just because it's kind of fun. I'm going to go with purple. And then lastly, I'm going to delete the original fin. So we bring out the delete object command, we switch to the data, and then we can remove the original fin. So the next time we hit play, we don't have that stray blue one hiding under the purple ones, or whatever awesome color you picked. Now the rocket I'm creating needs 3 engines, so we need to create another new object, and we're going to rename it, and we're going to rename it as engines. When you click OK, we're going to find that add a copy of an object, and this time we're going to add a copy of the engine. I'm going to move my fin codes down for a minute so I have more room to play, and then let's go to the move so we can move that object where we want. And I'm going to tell you that the numbers I've found are perfect are 6, -3, and 0. I'm going to keep my gray color. You could change them if you wanted. But now I'm going to duplicate those 2 pieces of code. So now I've got 2 engines just like that. This one is going to be located at -6. I'm still going to keep the -3 and the 0. And then I'm going to add a third engine by right-click duplicating. And this one's going to be at 0. It's going to be at 7. And it's also going to be at 0. I want to delete the original engine, so I'm going to bring out a delete object. Move to the data, find that word engine, place it in there. I'm going to bring my code back up, and I'm going to swing it around so that this longer piece is dangling out to the side. And now when we hit play, check it out, we have got 3 awesome engines under our rocket. Alright, so friends, we've created pieces. We've taken those pieces and made them more complex objects. And now it's time to create our rocket. Click on object, click on the object, rename it, and we're going to type rocket. We are going to then move to the add a copy of an object, and we are going to add the body, and we're going to duplicate, and then instead of the body, we'll throw that out, and this time we're going to add the fins. We will duplicate that as well and put it below. We will throw out the fins, and this time we're going to add the engines. We are going to turn those into a group by hitting create group, and then we've already deleted the engine and the fin, but we did not delete the body. So I'm going to put the body delete down here. We also need to delete our engines and our fins now that we use them. So let's just duplicate, throw out the word body, move to the data, and grab the engines where it was multiple, and then duplicate that, throw out the engines, and we need to delete the fins. Make sure you're getting the ones that were plural so that it cleans that up. Let's zoom out over here. I'm scrolling so we can see it all. Notice if you shift right click, it pans so you can get the best angle. And when you hit play, you'll be able to watch the entire rocket draw just like that. Now this is pretty fun, but the coolest thing is to make it move. So we are going to create a brand new object called launch. Once again, click the create new object, rename the variable, and let's type launch. We're going to tell it OK, and we're going to add a copy of an object. This time, we're going to go to data, and we're going to add the rocket. We need to delete the rocket, and I'm going to right click and duplicate an old delete, and then I'm going to throw away the fins, and then grabbing the rocket object. So we add a copy, we delete the original, and then we move to the control, and we find a count with. We want to count from 1 to 30, and we're going to change by 1 each time. We're going to make our rocket move up. Let's move to modify, bring out a move, and I'm going to tell you that up should be a variable. We'll make that with the math, so set it above the object. This is important. If you put it below, it'll break it. We're going to rename that variable to be up and tell it OK. And we're going to set up to 5. And then we're going to put a variable for z, so let's hit data, and we want that up variable to be right in the z spot. Now what makes this super sweet is we can move to the change item, and we want to change up. Make sure you remember to click that, and we're going to change it by 5 each time. Friends, this is the best part. I'm going to tell you that you should pause the video and hit play right now. I'm going to count to 3, and then I will hit play. So if you didn't watch it on your screen first, you can watch it on mine. Here we go. Rocket, and there's the blast off. How cool is that? Alright friends, so remember, if you're in my classroom, you do need to give me a screenshot, and yours must have different colors. You can give me a screenshot with the share button. Remember, this is where you would take a screenshot. You can also create an animated GIF, and if you keep your eyes peeled, there will be a video also that teaches you how to add text to those animated GIFs as well, which is a ton of fun. I'm going to click cancel on this screen. Friends, I do also want to remind you that you can export it as a part. If you wanted your rocket to be part of the normal Tinkercad design process, then you could use it again and again. Just remember, if you do export it as a part, whatever colors you chose, they will stick. Friends, I hope you had a lot of fun and learned some cool coding while you were working on the video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. If you got a question, comment, or a suggestion, add it down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, and last but not least, hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when there's a brand new video from me, HL Mod Tech. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.